Hi, thank you for joining me for day 8 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life. And today's sketch is by the lovely Gloria Montross. I'll leave her details down below of whatever I can find. And today I'm documenting 2 photos of a trip we made last January to a local hall and gardens called Arley Hall. And I'm using Pinkfresh Good Times for this. This is a collection that I've definitely neglected. I think the colours weren't exactly what I expected. They're much more muted, and so I've struggled a bit more to use it. But I was determined to grab it for this layout and just make use. And I've got loads and loads of everything left. The paper's not so much, but all the embellishments, the ephemera, the stationery pack and things I do. So I've just chosen 3 of the papers and I'm cutting strips to add down the left hand side and across the bottom per the sketch. And then I'm going to create a mat behind the photos. Now the sketch suggests 1 4x6 photo. I've actually done 2 3x4 photos which I printed on a 4x6 sheet, so they still look like the same size as in the sketch, and I've just moved that down the page a little bit to connect to the bottom. So I'm just roughing up the edges of all of these strips with my fingernails and trimming off the bottom so they're not quite 12 inches because I don't want them to stretch right to the very top of the page. And I'm going to curl them up. Excuse me. I'm going to curl them up and stick them down just to give some dimension there. So just adding a bead of glue along the middle of the strip and getting those stuck down. And you can see I trimmed that pink piece with the leaves on so that the leaves were central on the strip. Now I haven't measured these strips. I'm guessing that they're around 3/4 of an inch. I just cut them by eye on my trimmer. I don't measure very much at all when I'm scrapbooking. I tend to just go by eye. So now those strips are all down, or very nearly all down, I can start working on my photo mats. Gosh, I do a lot of fiddling. I am sorry about that. Very nearly down. And you can see I'm just offsetting them against one another. I really like the look of that. So just roughing up those edges. And now I can start working on the photos. Here we go. So first of all, I've pulled out some bits from the stationery pack. One of them's an envelope, but I'm just using it as a mat. And one of them is a beautiful tag with the amazing gold, what's it called? Eyelet, I suppose, in the top. I really enjoy that. And that card has some lovely flowers on the back, but I really like that scallop down the left-hand side. And I'm just trying to use things rather than saving it for best, which I'm so good at doing. So adding my photo to that card and then the tag behind it. At this point, I was considering adding some journaling on that card, but I don't in the end. The journaling goes elsewhere. And I love the look of that envelope behind the photo of the girls. The 2 tones on the paper looks really nice. So adding this little piece that says together at the top and a label. So just continuing layering up. That's a fir cone wax seal that I created the other day on one of my wax seal stamps. And I love that little string of acorn leaves. So that just goes across the top there. So this little tag says anise, and I didn't want anise to show, but that's another wax seal that I created of a little fox, and I thought that layers up nicely, and you can't tell that it's a star anise underneath. It just looks like some brown leaves. So I decided to layer that like that. The Flair badge is from Hey Little Magpie. It's one of our canvas badges. So just building up some leaves and foliage to the right-hand side here. I do change that, but I'm just trying to get an idea for the shape of the layout. And then I see this frame. This is actually from Simply the Best from Pinkfresh, which I've since broken down, but I did go through some of my other stash just to see if there was anything on any of the stickers that I could use. And I came across this frame that said Friendship, and I thought that would work really nicely. So I've slotted that behind the layout. When I come back to working on that pile on the right hand side, I do actually trim that off so that I can use the other half another day. So just getting everything stuck down to this photo mat. I'm not quite sure yet whether I want to add any mixed media behind it, so I'm not sticking much down to the background at the moment. So these are the 49 and Market ephemera rub-ons, the leaves from Spectrum Sherbet. So I've just pulled out one of the yellow ones and I'm going to rub that on down there, and then I will layer that with a green leaf in a minute. I've still got a lot of these rub-ons left. Again, I think I've been saving them for best, so it's nice to be able to pull them out and get them used. So just getting that wax seal stuck down onto that tag before I lose what I was doing. And layering things back up just to see how it looks. This is another frame, this time from the Good Times collection. You can see I've used it previously because the bottom's cut off. So just tucking that in behind the tag. Just add a little bit more height up there. And then continuing to glue everything down. I've added this little leaf next to that wax seal. And in the tag down the bottom. And this lovely leaf. I'm really focusing in on the yellows today. Don't know why. I think it was the yellow from that paper strip that I cut at the beginning with the leaves on. So now adding some tangled thread behind my flare badge. Just again in the yellow. This is a variegated yellow, so it has different hues. It's really pretty. And because I've added that at the bottom, I will add some more at the top shortly. So going through the rub-ons from Spectrum Sherbet, I also found these gorgeous stitched rub-ons. So I'm going to add one of those behind the frame. So just peeling that frame back up. And this is the point where I decide to trim it so I can use that other half that was hidden behind the photo another day. And then just working out how much of this rub-on I want, because I just want it to go the height of the photo and no further. So just trimmed off the top and I'm rubbing that down. I love these rub-ons, they're nice and matte, so you can't tell once they're rubbed on, they just look like part of the page. And here's where I'm adding that green. So I trim off one of the green leaves and notice that I've got a little blue one there. So I'm going to tuck that underneath that Breathe Deeply piece at the bottom there, just to add a little bit of interest. And then I can add that cluster of leaves and I layer it over the yellow one. These work beautifully as layering pieces. Just working out where it's going to go. And you can see that top right hand leaf just layers beautifully over the yellow ones. And that's how it would be in nature. So you want to bring in that movement. Just checking that it's all safely down before I peel off the backing sheet. So now coming in with some American seam binding and just adding more yellow to the top of that tag. And I'm just deciding where I want the tails to go. So adding the frame back into the right hand side before I forget to do that. Like I say, that says friendship, so it's really nice to add there. And then this little ladybird, I just think it's nice to bring that red in around the page. Got it in the acorn leaves at the top, the oat leaves at the top. And on that happy flare badge, so that visual triangle is there. And then adding some glue to that tangled thread that I mentioned I was going to add up there. And just a couple of dots of glue to hold these ribbons in place. I still want them to have the texture and dimension, so I don't want to add too much glue, but just a couple of dots just keeps it where you want it. So now going through the sticker sheets, and straight away I find this gorgeous pink moth. So that's going to go at the top there, and straight away that's created that diagonal from top left to bottom right on the layout. And now this sticker says, I'm grateful for, so I find another sticker that says today and stick that down. And then this one that I'm adding on the left-hand side on James's photo is the little things. Amelia had actually taken that photo of him. It was so sweet. I wanted to include that. So now I'm going into the puffy alphabet stickers that say to spell Arlie, which is where we were, and then the smaller ones to put Hall. So Arlie Hall is my title. And then I'm going to add my journaling underneath that word Hall there. It just seemed the logical place to put it. And my journaling just reads, a lovely wander around the grounds of Arlie Hall with Claire, Mark and Lucy. Hard to believe we've lived here all these years and this was our first visit. So a little acorn and a tiny little heart just to finish it off. So please do check the description box for the playlist of everybody else playing along on this fabulous hop. And other than that, I shall see you tomorrow for day 9. Thank you. Bye.